get into it. All right. What's up, YouTube? And here goes another update to my journey reselling action figures and cross listing on Depop. Yes, I said it. I am now on Depop with a few of my action figures. I listed some shoes and stuff that I have listed on eBay, which I had to take down. And we're going to get into a deep dive about eBay and how shady and crooked they do business. Okay, I don't know about these interests and these fees and all this. And so I had 250, maybe a little more than 250 on there. And basically, I checked and I noticed I have heck of fees on like $5 worth of 35-cent fees, and that all adds up. 35 and it's on stuff that haven't even sold in over a year. It's been sitting there and they say, oh, we relist them for you. You're not relisting nothing because I ain't getting no new views on anything. There's still zero views on all these things that I got charged 35 cents more for them relisting. And that's just a way of eBay saying if you have more than 250 items on our website, we're going to literally charge you 35 cents to relist all those 250 all over for you again. Or you know what I mean? Like if it's some stuff running out of time, it's been on there for a month. Those five things basically will get charged 35 cents for them to relist it, and that's when you're over 250. You know what I mean? Like those five. So if you got 256, or six items will basically get charged 35 cents. I believe so because I listed two things and it was like 35 cents. I was like, what? I thought I always list these things for zero. And I was, I went back and then I lost my mind in a way. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, eBay is so crooked and shady. I'm barely even making money on here. I'm doing so much work and putting in the effort, and these people are just shady, dude. And so I said, you know what? I've been seeing Depop pop up when I'm searching for action figures online, and I'm like, what is Depop? That sounds interesting. And I always hear it when I watch this dude's YouTube videos, and he's a huge reseller on eBay. I get all my information from him. And basically, I just decided to jump ships. I'm just cross listing. I'm listing all my stuff. So I spent about a, a bunch of time last night putting up like 46 items on there. And I actually wasn't going to stop until I sold something. And so I just kept listing. I finally got a sell. And so we're going to go over what sold. And I think this is a market what dominates clothes. You know what I mean? I've noticed a lot of clothes on there, but people have clothes on there for $2, 250, $3. So you're gonna have to be selling stuff for like $1. And I had this in my closet. This is something that I received for a gift from my grandmother years ago, and I just never wore it. I'm just not into Jordan anymore. So you know what? It's a Jumpman Jordan shirt. I decided to list it for $7. And someone gave me seven stinkers for it. And guess what? I got almost all my revenue. I got over $6.26 back, or maybe a little more than $6. And so that means their interest fee, I mean, their fees are not even that much, and they pay for ship. The buyer pays for shipping and everything, and it's it's a smooth. I don't know how the payout works. That's one thing about payout is really different. You do not get paid until this has been delivered. I believe 2 days after it's been delivered, you get paid out. You know what I mean? So if people are scamming and all that, it's a way you won't get your money. At least with eBay, you have your money before it even gets there. The money goes straight directly to you. You know what I mean? And after any funny stuff goes down, you still have your money. Any funny stuff goes down on this thing, you don't have your money. That's one thing about I'm worried about Bpop. You know what I'm saying? Is with the scamming and the stuff like that. I ain't trying to take no L's. And so, lucky the stuff I'm selling is only knickknacks and worth not that much money. You know what I'm saying? I list some Jordans on there for like $54. It got a bunch of views. And see, for the first 13 days, they will promote your stuff. I think they call it, it's a different name for it, but I think it's the same thing as promotion. And basically, I believe after those 13 days run out, you could promote each item or something. Or I don't know. I gotta look into how their thing, but their interest stays at like a 12%. So that's still a lot, but I think it's a one way all the way around. So it's just a way they make their money. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay if it just stays the same number and you don't have to jack it all up and all that. You know, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to list on there and see if I could build what I did on eBay, because eBay has taken a halt, but I put a lot of work into eBay. So I am not listing stuff until things start selling on there, and I will start listing. If things don't sell, then that's okay. I'm just going to take my business elsewhere and try to sell them elsewhere, and we'll see what goes down and how cheap I got to really sell this stuff to make it push, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just a journey that I am on, and the other thing I sold on eBay was this really cool, and this is cool. This is tight. You know what I mean? I could basically, this was a chase, a Oscar the Grouch chase. I did an unboxing for, and I pulled a stinky double. And so I listed this because it's a chase, for 10 stinkers, you know what I mean? And fiddled around with the what's I call a little bit, the shipping a little bit, so I could make $1 back on that as well, because I'm not really making any profit, and I'm doing all this work going to the post office and you know what I mean, shipping this stuff. Not only doing that, I'm picking the stuff up, you know, um, and stuff. Some items like CDs and DVD, and they're not selling on eBay. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take my DVD business, and I'm almost to $96 from the stuff I picked up from a garage sale. I need to sell some items because I'm at like $80, so I'm like $15 away, and I have a whole thing full of DVDs and video games that is just listed on eBay. And I went on to eBay selling action figures. So I don't know if the algorithm just sees my DVDs and just not putting them out there, or it's just so much DVDs on there. But I think I'm gonna be doing bundled up stuff, and you know what I mean. And I have like Lord of the Rings, all four of them. I'm gonna do like all four bundles, and I'm gonna ask for like $12. So I'm just gonna lowball as hell, get like basically sell it what how Savers is selling it. Really, people are just going to be paying for shipping. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to start trying to do bundles and stuff like that on Depop, and try to see if I could work something different into getting my items off, since it's not working on eBay. I'm just listing, and now I hit a wall to where I can't list any. I thought I could have a, and then when you read it, it says, oh, up to 250 a month you can have listed on eBay. And I was just doing 20 every month, so it never affected me. But once I got up to 250, and see, I think if you get an eBay store, you could have way more stuff listed. So I might have to look into how much is it to have an eBay store, and is it worth having, for me it is worth having an eBay store, because I want to have hundreds and hundreds of things listed, because I want these things to be seen, and I want things to be sold. So I need to see how that works, and if it's something that I could contribute, and I know that it won't affect me in making pay, like making money, and where to I'm like losing and just doing this for nothing. Besides it is a hobby of mine, and I'm just not trying to hoard a lot of stuff. I'm actually getting rid of these things, and I'm not trying to get stuck with stuff. So I need to find other outlets to get rid of the stuff that's not selling on eBay. It just makes sense for me to start cross listing, you know what I mean? And I don't know about any of this stuff. I'm just a dude from the freaking streets that have a regular 9 to 5. I just like going online to buy stuff. I don't even like buying online. I like going in person and buying this stuff. I like to show it off online and basically sell it online, and I have it down with eBay. And so I think if other websites are similar to eBay, I'm just gonna do the same thing with them and see where it goes, because eBay, suck a fucking dick. Man, that's how I feel, because you guys don't do any kind of communication with any of the buyers. You treat like we're damn near your employees. We're damn near your bosses, because we're the ones that keep it flowing, your money that's coming in. We're the ones that do all the work. You guys don't even do anything. So we're the workers and the bosses of this. business, and you guys are eBay is just completely shady, I think. You know what I mean? Like ever since I don't do promotions, I don't promote my stuff, and I know if I promoted I would not make anything, because I would have to jack my numbers up, and I could compare the numbers, my numbers with other sellers' numbers, and it's no way. Like, how would someone that has 1,000, I only have like 100 sales. How does someone that has thousands of sales on there, someone's gonna go buy off that thousands of sales, not mine's? If mine's even more expensive, at this time, I'm doing my shit's cheaper, and they're still going to theirs because they're more reliable and feel safer because they bought from them already. So it's a dirty game. Like, I don't know if eBay like picks and choose the algorithm on, like, oh yeah, this person sold 100,000 things, so just push their stuff out there. Why this person that only sold 100, oh, and his stuff is, he's selling for cheap too, or not just cheap, but it's barely any money. Like, we only want to push stuff that has like $50 to $100. My little fives and tens and 15 stuff, like, I like the little stuff because it adds up, and it's cheap. It's a way I could get my foot in the door, but it's not getting pushed. Not that's just me ranting and just seeing how the game is on eBay, and me being on Depop for one day and loving the experience of how easy it is compared to eBay. How easy it is to list, how easy it is to put your pictures up, and it puts a description and just throws it up there. I have hundreds of views already on some stuff, and that's just because the 13 days it's doing some boost or something. And so for these next 13 days, I'm going to be listing a lot. I'm going to try to list as much as I can. Last night, I was falling asleep and waking up and listing stuff. You know what I mean? Is because I have pictures. I ran out of pictures. So now I have to literally take stuff one at a time and take the pictures all over again and put them up, because I have nowhere, I always delete stuff because I don't really have like a good, you know, somewhere to store my stuff, my data and all that. Like, yeah, my phone hasn't been backed up in 2 years, damn near. I got a brand new phone, and I thought I could back it up. I tried to back it up, it fucking didn't back up. I think all that skimmy and scams and all that, fuck everything. All this digital crap, I'm tired of it. I only do it because this is how a way to me put my stuff out there and put myself out there, and to communicate and be a part of something, besides having nothing. You know what I mean? And this is something to me. I love collecting. I love the toy hunt. It's a thrill to me. It's my happiness. You know what I mean? I don't know if other people get joy out of nonfiction like I get joy out of nonfiction. You know what I'm saying? I love nonfiction. Everything nonfiction I could praise and just be infatuated with, and be into movies and shows and just other universes and fantasies, and just be into it. You know what I mean? I love that kind of stuff, and getting into otherworldly like stuff with just their lore, and it's really awesome. It's incredible kind of feeling just to be a part of something, and that's what I'm trying to create. You know what I mean? I'm trying to create something where people feel comfortable being themselves and just doing their own thing. If you like to collect, just collect. Let's talk about toys. Let's talk about all this stuff. And I'm just trying to make a foot in the door with reselling, not like in a shady kind of way. I'm just trying to resell and get stuff to people that they can't get available to them, or they just want. And, I'm just trying to make a few bucks off of it. I'm not trying to make a whole killing and, oh, I buy something for $1 and make it's going for $100, so I'm gonna list it for $100. No, it's going for $1. I'm listing it for 13.50. You know what I mean? And if it sells in 5 seconds, I know, oh, that's my bad. I could have sold it for more, but that's okay. I'm still making my $10 issue. You know what I'm saying? It could be more, but it's okay. I know where I'm gonna be myself and not feel like I'm doing something wrong, and just feel like, oh, no, this is not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have morals and standards, and I'm gonna run by my how I do my stuff. I'm gonna own up to whatever. You know what I mean? My mistakes, because I'm only human, and humans make mistakes, and I'm not a robot. No matter how much I would want to thrive like one and have a routine and just be like, you know what I mean, perfect like that. But no, it don't work like that. I'm a human being, and I fucking burn out. I burn out quick. But yeah, I let this video go way too long. But yes, YouTube, I love you. We are now on Depop. Screw eBay. I'm going to keep pushing my stuff on eBay, but I'm going to take off a bunch of stuff I have listed on there and list it somewhere else and just start going back to maybe just put in nothing but action figures and stuff like that on my eBay, because other stuff once in a while it sells, but it really don't, just gotta, maybe I'll just do straight horror. If it's horror stuff, maybe I will put it on my eBay as well. But when it comes to clothes or DVDs, or I don't even want to sell that kind of stuff, but what can I do if something's not working for me? I'm gonna have to just start having the eye and trying to flip stuff that is will make me money. You know what I mean? And it's possible. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. It's it's out there. I just got to go find it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do that. I start school next month as well. But be sure to go like this video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go subscribe, because we're up to 241 right now. Let's get it. I'm gonna throw some shorts out there. I have some really good unboxings to do. I got some haul videos coming up, and hopefully we can have more of my journeys. And it's not only just going to be on eBay, it's going to be on Depop as well. So we're going to see how Depop treats us and how that game goes, and if we're going to be getting scammed and I'm going to be taking L's, or if it's going to go smooth, and like how eBay has been going smooth, except with eBay screwing me. And I don't feel like Depop is going to fucking screw me, but eBay is screwing me. Not the customers on eBay. It's fucking eBay. eBay. Keep it spooky, people.